It is not good to abide in a lie. In fact, that is the definition of tyranny. Correcting somebody who is lying for an ideology is one of the highest goods you can possibly achieve. Leftists lie and call it compassion. They call it adherence to their cult. And when we tell the truth, it's called oppression, because logic, reason, rationality falls outside the bounds of their insane ideology, which inverts everything and slanders mechanisms of truth. Leftists actually claim victimhood from reality itself as it holds them accountable, as others speak truth, and this is how you see they are at war with reality. A lot is going on in the world. Brett Cooper's on Fox News explaining to boomers why no one watches mainstream media, and they're, of course, reveling in the fact that figureheads from CNN are getting fired. We have degenerate freak shows in Congress currently, I mean right now, as I'm recording this, screaming at RFK, incoherent leftist propaganda. What do you mean you want to ban my ability to eat hot dogs? And we have Donald Trump signing an executive order called the Lincoln Riley Act, which requires police officers to, get this, detain illegal immigrants if they commit crimes, which applies for police across the nation, by the way. Here in California, the NYPD, yeah, all of them. You steal a Snickers bar, you jaywalk, police can detain you. Honestly, they shouldn't just be able to detain you because you're an illegal immigrant, which is a form of breaking the law.
Serious note, I think it's that you just don't understand what we believe.
So the New York Times ran this ridiculous headline, obviously their propaganda network, where they are accusing the young, they're going after the young voters who voted right, because that is obviously a massive shift in the public consciousness. And in typical leftist fashion, they can't explain that away by saying, oh, the right made more coherent arguments to individuals based on logic, reason, and rationality, because they don't believe in coherence. They don't believe in logic, reason, and rationality. They don't believe in the individual. They don't believe in the existence of truth, most fundamentally. They only believe in their ideology. Go check out my previous video where I dive deeper into that concept. It's very important to understand how the left actually operates. They're an identity cult which just denies truth. They invert everything. And so Brett Cooper's responding to that. Also, she's starting a new show.
Election. And young people are just hungry for independent voices who are authentic and honest with their audiences. They don't want to hear from traditional pundits 24/7.
Right.
Oh, you're saying I'm not going to have it.
And it's also important to realize that many people are censored and blacklisted. So, for instance, on YouTube, my channel is completely blacklisted. I'll show this to you. This is completely absurd. The last several shorts I've uploaded have all been stuck at literally less than 30 views, which is completely insane. Like this level of blacklisting is next to impossible. It's next to impossible. It's completely ridiculous. Dozens and dozens and dozens of shorts. And of course, my videos are also being heavily censored, extremely heavily censored. I'm obviously not going to stop, but it's important to realize that big tech is censoring people. So hopefully, my channel can be discovered.
No, you're going to.
Am I
because
fired?
It's great.
How many more years do I have, Brett?
No, you're one of my favorites.
Okay.
But I think that it's just changing in that there are more opportunities now. And, as Elon says, we are the media now. So it's not just that commentators are popping up and there's all these new podcasters, but it's
I get like thousands of views on X per video versus YouTube. It's literally less than 50 sometimes.
normal people who finally have a voice and are able to share their own opinions, whether it's on a Substack or on a post on X that goes viral. People have a voice in a way that they haven't had ever.
Some people think you're cruel.
I know.
They think you're mean.
It's a very perverse way of twisting and inverting the truth, saying that the person speaking objective reality is cruel for doing so, because how dare you adhere to objective truth rather than the cult of the left. This is how you see they're desperate to be victims, because conversely, if the person speaking truth is cruel, that means they're being cruel to somebody. The person that they're being cruel to is the person that is dedicated to the compassionate lie, the compassionate cult identity membership status of the left. And so this makes them by default victims. It makes us the victimizers and them the victims, because in Marxism, to be a victim is to be a good person. I go into full depth in the last video. I don't want to spend 10 minutes here as a dissertation explaining the architecture of Marxism, but I did that in last video, so go check that one out.
Mean girl, you're exclusive, you're not tolerant. What do you say when they say that to you?
I don't care, Margaret.
Yeah, it's not good to be tolerant of wrong ideas. This is actually a very important concept that for some reason leftists have no shame in trying to perpetuate this lie. It is not good to abide in a lie. In fact, that is the definition of tyranny. Correcting somebody who is lying for an ideology is one of the highest goods you can possibly achieve. Leftists lie and call it compassion. They call it adherence to their cult. And when we tell the truth, it's called oppression, because logic, reason, rationality falls outside the bounds of their insane ideology, which inverts everything and slanders mechanisms of truth. Leftists actually claim victimhood from reality itself as it holds them accountable, as others speak truth. And this is how you see they are at war with reality. This is why they're not taken seriously by young people, by really any people, and why they lost so brutally.
I really don't care. But no, on a more serious note, I think it's that you just don't understand what we believe.
It's important, though, to recognize they are not interested in understanding, because their cult is one of anti-reality. They've already decided that their enemy is truth itself.
My goal is to help you understand.
Seriously.
That's my goal with my show. It's what has always been my goal with my content, is if I can change your perspective on who we are and what we believe and what we stand for, even if it's not to change your mind or change your vote, but to make you have more respect for your friends who think differently than you, then I've done what I want to do. And so I think that it's just trying to reach across the aisle with nuance and empathy. Because I think that things are changing. We saw that in 2020.
Speaking truth is the most compassionate thing you can do. The left inverts truth in every way by saying it's more compassionate to lie, which is one of the most evil positions a person can have. It is actually more compassionate to tell the truth. But again, they're at war with reality. This is what makes us the good guys. This is what makes us the rebels against the evil empire.
2024. And so I think there's a lot more progress to be made.
It's like
There's a lot of
Fetterman.
room.
We can have a conversation.
Exactly. There's a lot of room at the Cruel Kids table. I'm welcoming you. I'm happy to have you.
All right, Brett, good to see you. Thank you.
Well, the left inverts truth. So while we're welcoming, while we are the ones willing to engage in dialogue, they're the ones saying any person who disagrees with us is beyond reproach and unredeemable. So yeah, they invert reality. Here is Trump signing the Lincoln-Riley Act. The mother of Lincoln Riley is standing next to Donald Trump as he signs into law across the nation a police officer must detain an illegal immigrant when they commit a crime. This is what justice looks like. This is what the left detests because they are anti-civilizational. The left are anti-civilizational beings that are at war with human civilization. Incredible. The left is evil. To say that the left wouldn't have done this doesn't even scratch the surface. They would have destroyed our country. And they would have done it in the name of compassion, in the name of inclusivity, as I described earlier in the video. Here is Trump commanding other countries to take back their illegals, saying that they will do it and they'll be happy about it.
You probably read
It's incredible to have an alpha leader as a president.
about Colombia 2 days ago. They said, no, we're not taking them. I said, we're going to take them. You're going to take them. You're going to like it, too. You're going to take them. They talked about we're not going to take people that are in shackles. I said, well, but the people that are in shackles are murderers. They're drug lords. They're rapists. They're very tough people. They make our criminals look like very nice people. That's about the only thing that comes out of this. And I say, could you imagine you're a pilot on the plane and you have your co-pilot and you're sitting there and you have 150 people, no shackles, and they like to murder people? This would not be a good flight. So Colombia apologized to us profusely.
Dude, this reality is so entertaining.
Within an hour, based on something I said, meaning you're going to pay tariffs like nobody's ever paid tariffs before.
Also, at this point, it's good to keep in mind we're deporting just over 1,000 people a day. It started off with a couple hundred. Actually, it started off with only a couple dozen. Then it got to a couple hundred, and now, meaning yesterday, we were at about 1,100. I did the math. In order to get to 15 million or 14.6 in 4 years, we're going to have to deport 10,000 a day. So we're going to have to significantly ramp up our deportation. But this is a very good start because we have to make America safe again, despite the fact that the left wants to destroy America for judging them as insufficient individuals that detest reality and are too mentally weak to engage in the mechanisms of truth like reason, logic, or rationality. So if you're new to the channel, subscribe. This channel is heavily censored. It's blacklisted in the algorithm, so it's not pushed to people, despite the fact that the shorts are great. The YouTube videos are really high quality. So I'll see you guys in the next video. And if you're watching in the future, which mathematically speaking you most likely are, remember that I continue to push even though we were censored.